What started as the idea of making the process of testing for certain diseases quicker and cheaper turned into a multifaceted company. We test for sickle cell anemia, alpha and beta thalassemia, diabetes, pre-diabetes. Historically, these diseases came from the Middle East and Africa. However, nowadays they're actually very prevalent outside of those continents and in Europe. What MAP Sciences does is that we package all of these disorders, and from one pinprick of blood, you're able to test for all of them and have a result within 72 hours if you order an at-home test kit. If you were to go through the NHS, for example, in the UK, you would need to essentially be doing a multitude of tests instead of doing one. My main role is business development and making new partnerships, etc., as well as running the day-to-day of the offices in the UK and in the UAE. So in the UAE, there's a large population of people who are at risk of thalassemia and producing children who have thalassemia. About 30% of the populations are carriers of an abnormality in their hemoglobin. Given that my heritage and our CEO's heritage is from the Middle East, is that we would like to then go forward in the Middle East and trying to prevent some of these diseases that don't need to be there anymore.
قررنا نعمل فحص الثلاسيميا عشان كنا حابين نشوف نأمن مستقبل أطفالنا. نعرف ناس من يعني قرايب من بعيد. فصار الواحد عنده وعي بهذا الموضوع.
There are two major types of the thalassemia, the major and the minor. If you have the major, it means that you will need of blood transfusion almost on a daily basis. Even if you have the minor and no conditions that might be life-threatening to you, yet your life will never be the same as a normal patient. You will always suffer from what we call a chronic anemia. Currently, the United Arab Emirates is one of the countries who has the thalassemia blood test as a mandatory test before marriage because they don't want to end up with a child with a thalassemia major and suffer the consequences on the child and the healthcare system. In terms of the cost, it is 70% less from the regular procedure.
هلا طبعا احنا بس سمعنا انه الموضوع بس عبارة عن شك الدبوس طبعا كان اسهل إلنا وكان يعني أحسن من سحب دم من العرق يعني.
هو من البداية كان شعور موتر.
لما اتصل علينا الدكتور جهاد بالنسبة للنتائج فالحمد لله طلع وقتها إنه كله النتائج سليمة فارتحنا إنه ما في تأثير على الأطفال فأتممنا كل الأمور.
My personal passion for it has grown every day because the more and more I've understood the science, as I don't come from a scientific background, the more and more I see that there's huge opportunity here and lots of ways to help people, lots of diseases to test for and lots of diseases to eradicate going forward with the help of our scientists. I think that our method and our process really creates a personalized medicine for people. And I think that that hands the power back to a patient, to a consumer, to anyone, to be able to know what's going on with them and their healthcare at any point. So when you place your order with MAP Sciences, take out the lancet, which is a small pricker for your finger, prick my finger, put it on the card, put it in an envelope and send it back. So once the sample is received by our lab staff, they'll take out the sample and punch out your blood spot, which then prepares it for the process of going into the machine, which is the multi-tough mass spectrometer. What happens there is the sample is then hit over 8,500 times by a laser, and then you're mapping the profile of your hemoglobin and produces spectra, which are plugged into an algorithm, which then produces the result. Whoever has requested the results can then take that to a GP if they need to, if they're concerned. Our testing process and our results process would definitely ease the burden on the NHS. I think financially, because the workload and the cost to the NHS will definitely decrease because you're requiring less sample and less man hours to actually produce these results.
This technology could make a difference to haemoglobinopathy diagnosis. So for us, the immediate benefit would be in a context where we need rapid turnaround. MAP Sciences has helped us in the past in a very difficult patient to reach a diagnosis which we couldn't reach by any of the laboratory methods available to us inside the NHS, and we reached out to them because we knew that they had advanced diagnostic facilities for hemoglobin problems.
We're currently working on ovarian cancer, prostate cancer, moving forward into breast cancer and lung cancer, etc. But our goal as a company has always been to create something that can help a large amount of people, especially in the countries that need the most help.